So in our last video, I showed you how to graph n versus x. So now I'm going to just steal from that picture and that problem and just change the problem slightly for this video. Instead of n versus x, however, in this problem, we're going to do n versus y. So now I'm going to make the vertical axis y, while the horizontal axis stays as my n value. So still the same idea now. A wrap of 0 would give us the points 4, 0. But now I am going to be looking at the n value versus the y coordinate. So the first point is the point 0, 0. Next, when I get a wrap of 1, I'll be at the point 4, 1. So again, going n versus the y coordinate, I'll be at the point 1, 1. When n is 2, I'll be up here at the point 4, 2. So I have to plot the point 2, 2. Then my y's flatten out. My wrap of 3, 1, 2, 3, brings me right here. And it brings me to the coordinates 3, 2. So my y value is still at 2. Then my y value is at 2 for the next value. At 2 one more time. Then the y value bumps up to 3. And then we stay at 3 for 2 units. That brings us to there. And then we bump down 1. Then we stay right here. 1, 2, 3 units. We stay at the same y value. So 1, 2, 3. And then once we get here, we start our decline. Down to 1, down to 0, -1, -2. So 1, 0, -1, -2. 1, 2, 3 units. We have a level value at y equals -2. Then we drop down 1 to -3. Stay there for 2 units. Come up 1, which gives us back up to -2. We stay at y equals -2 for 1, 2, 3 units. And then finally, we increase back up, right up into the, back to the axis. So if you look, both the n versus x and the n versus y end up having the same period, which, they should. A little different pattern on them. The y coordinates started at the axis, the horizontal axis, while the x's started up high at a maximum value. And you'll notice that when we get to the circle wrap, that there's some functions that behave just the same way. So this graph would look something like that. Of course, one observation I'd like to point out is that there are some symmetries with these graphs. If you kind of look at the graph we just made, it goes up, bumps over, up, over, down, over, down. If you were to just kind of pivot right on this center point and spin this 180 degrees and this part would come up here, you would notice they would just match right up. The first graph we did on the first video, the n versus x, if you were to just slice it right down the middle, you'd have some symmetry, line symmetry. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. The graph